What's up, everyone? Jason here. I'm here with the other bro of Metabros, Justin. And I want to welcome you to Metabros, where we help inspire, educate, and launch your best future self. Today, we'll be talking about NFTs. There's a few main things with NFTs that we're going to run through today. Number one, what are NFTs? What problems do NFTs solve? How do NFTs compare to other things on the internet today? Why are NFTs being used in digital artwork? And then what are some of the best NFT marketplaces?
It's going to be an exciting segment. We got a lot of information to go through, and keep your eyes open.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode. Welcome back. So, as mentioned, we're going to start off with what are NFTs.
Yeah.
So basically, NFTs, according to the traditional definition on the Ethereum blockchain, NFTs are tokens that can be used to represent ownership of unique items. So they can tokenize. You can tokenize things like art, collectibles, even real estate.
Yeah.
They can only have one official owner at one time. And then it's all secured at this point in time on the Ethereum blockchain. So no one can modify the ownership. There's only one indistinct owner of that kind of NFT. It's a non-fungible token.
Yes.
So non-fungible is kind of just a term that means that you could, it can't be destroyed, or someone else can't create a similar thing to it. Think of it like a piece of the Mona Lisa artwork, for example. There's a way to determine if that's a fake or what the original is.
Right.
So think about that in a digital form. There's a way that can't be recreated. So the code actually in this NFT shows what is the real one, what are copies. So you actually own some kind of a digital thing, which I think is pretty cool.
The opposite of a non-fungible token would be cryptocurrency, right? So fungibility just means that you can exchange it with whatever that other thing is. So, a dollar is fungible. All dollars are worth the exact same amount at the same time.
That's
so,
right.
But a Mona Lisa and another painting they're priceless in their own way. Right, so They can't be exchanged. There has to be some form of extra payment on one side if you exchange one or the other.
That solves a really important problem today. If you think about copying and pasting something in a digital format today,
right,
like a video or audio in a podcast or an image,
right,
that's seen as the same. The copy is seen as the original. But now with NFTs, when you replicate something, you actually know forever what is the original and then what are the copies.
Right.
So it's this idea that now, because of NFTs, you can replicate any physical thing and make it a digital NFT, and you own the original kind of NFT of that. So today, a lot of people are talking about artwork and adding it to your collection, but really you can add anything. I mean, I could add my Rubik's Cube here. I could create a digital identity NFT of this Rubik's Cube, and then I'm the only one that will ever own that particular digital NFT of that. People can make copies of it, but in the code, it will always show as that's a copy. It's really unique, and when you think about it, in my opinion, everything in the future is going to be done either as an NFT or some kind of fundamental structure of it. Think about when you buy a house, purchase a car, that's going to be an NFT process. You have this digital contract, you have this digital title that says you own, whatever that is. Because you own it, you can facilitate the ability to transfer that one thing over to someone else.
Kind of destroys how people with large sums of money with artwork can, shall we say, hide their money in artwork, because when you create an NFT, you are now allowed to have a percentage of that money on each sale go back to the person who originally created it. If you artificially heighten the price of the NFT, really it's just giving money back to the creator. It's really fascinating, and it's really cool because you're kind of getting around this area that a lot of people with large sums of money.
In traditional art collecting, in the past, people of high net worth or people who had money just in general, they would use collectible art as a store of their wealth. For tax purposes, for things that they enjoyed, things that they really liked, they would purchase these original pieces of art and then just use that as a store of value. How NFTs compare to other things on the internet. You want to kind of go through a little bit about that. I know today, we just mentioned a few of them. You look at a copy of a file, so a video or an audio, in the internet today, the copy is the same as the original.
Right.
So we know that NFTs, the original is not the same as the copy. We know always what the original is going to be, but what are some of the other kind of comparisons of NFTs with the internet today?
When you download something from the internet, if you go on Google, search up an image, you can save the image to your computer as a PDF file or PNG, all that stuff. But when you have an NFT to it, it has an ID tag. So basically that means, random number or string of characters and numbers that differentiate that file that says this is the original file, and anything that is other than this digital ID is a copy. So that is one example.
The right of ownership. If you store video, audio, any kind of file on a server somewhere, that the people who own the server technically can steal whatever you put on there.
Right.
Like there's this idea of inherent trust, where you feel like Google Drive or Apple's cloud storage, any of these, there's a trust that goes along with it. But at any point in time, if someone gets access to your account through a hack or the big tech company themselves, they can go in and take it. So this idea of owning your own data and your NFTs, the things that you physically own in a digital format, that's another big comparison, another reason why it's amazing, I think.
That leads into really distributed databases and decentralized databases as well, because you can't have a non-fungible token like you said on Google Drive, because if it is on there, the person, like you said, who owns the servers really owns it. But if you have a decentralized database on top of your NFT non-fungible token, then no one technically owns it. It is owned by the system, and you can access it, wherever you are on whatever node. So that is, you need to have the two layers. This is where a lot of the large companies like Google are trying to take over this area, because they're trying to make it seem like they are for decentralization, but they'll just incorporate one or two pieces when you really need the whole to have a decentralized system.
Another thing too is the ability to profit off of something that you own. Currently with music streaming, like musicians, they're at the mercy of whatever their record label or producer says to do. But if you have your music in an NFT, you can control in perpetuity any kind of residual income you get from it, like you briefly mentioned earlier. Like you have this now ability to physically and digitally create how you make money, how you profit from your creativity. And I think that's one thing with NFTs not to get lost in, is a lot of people look at the artwork and be like, I'm not an artist. I don't draw, I don't paint. But NFTs are just it's an asset where you can create whatever you want. If you're a writer, write something. If you have physical items here, like this car here, Mustang 69 Fastback, I think, but I could create an NFT of this. I could scan it with an AR, augmented reality kind of camera. digitize it, and then I can make it an NFT. I like to create, I like to help companies create wealth in consulting and things like that, and through other forms of content. I can NFT, eyes, that entire process and teach people. So it's like, what do you enjoy doing? What are you passionate about doing? And then how can you create an NFT from that? Why are NFTs being used in digital art? There's 5 main things that I think digital artwork is kind of adopting NFTs so much, and it's growing like crazy. So number 1, you have authenticity. So the original copy is verifiable, just in the code.
Right.
Like if you go to the Mona Lisa and are trying to say, hey, this is the original and this is the copy, you actually need someone who's an expert in art to be able to look and determine that. Now we're using code, we're using machines. It can't be refuted. Like you can't, machines don't manipulate people. People manipulate other people, but they can do that through machines. Right. So you have limited editions that you can do actually with NFTs.
I'm thinking of the crypto zombies as well.
Oh,
where you can actually combine crypto kitties with crypto zombies to make extremely rare editions.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're crypto zombie kitties, I think is what they're called.
Well, the other one is ownership. So it's an NFT. You can prove who owns it. So it's done, again, digitally. You have that code that can prove who owns it. Mm-hmm. Liquidity. So the ability to sell, trade, or send that artwork to anyone or, another entity. And then this idea of provenance. So the history of the ownership of the artwork is fully tracked on the blockchain. Blockchain is a ledger. Mm-hmm. It shows this person A transferred this amount of Bitcoin to person B. Ledger is publicly accessible to everyone. Same thing with NFTs. When you buy or sell an NFT, it's recorded on the ledger, the blockchain, that shows this piece of artwork went from this person to this person. It turned into this wild, wild west of everyone jumping into it. You have people like Gary Vee now using NFTs to have some form of digital art. You have professional athletes that he's kind of working with. He's selling tickets through NFTs. Right. You have other people like you mentioned, the crypto zombies, crypto kitties, that they're using that for digital artwork. But right now is the time where, as creators, we have the ability to basically try to use NFTs for anything. Yeah, which is what I think is so amazing. So it leaves us, it gets us to a point where, okay, we can create anything. So I think we should, Justin, talk a little bit more about how do you actually start to make NFTs. There's a few different ways that you can go about making NFTs.
The first thing you got to do is to create something on the real network. You have to be connected to the Ethereum network. So there's a few different ways you can connect to the Ethereum network with tools like MetaMask, that you create a wallet and your own wallet is holding Ethereum tokens. So to put something on the Ethereum network, you have to pay a fee, and it's called gas fees. Because you're fueling the system that provides the miners that keep everything running. The people who have nodes, they get rewarded for doing their work. That is why you need a wallet to get connected to it in the first place. The next thing is you need to have your own key. So you need to create your personal ID for the non-fungible token, so it differentiates itself from everything else, right? Mm-hmm. You need to have your own address, and that is in your Ethereum wallet. Mm-hmm. So each person has their own address. And then you need to use a program to connect to test networks, they're called, like Truffle or Ganache, that create their own form of the Ethereum blockchain, and it's called a test net, where you can test your contract out, because once it is put on the Ethereum blockchain, your NFT, you can never change it. This is why it is so trustworthy, is because once it's on top of in the blockchain, and everything gets stacked on top of it, and it's in this public ledger, you can't change it anymore. But then you need to check your balance, make sure everything's right. Gas fees are going up and up. It's kind of crazy right now
That's
with
right.
Ethereum network, because everybody's transacting right now, which is why Ethereum is trying to figure something out. So once you get your contract tested on the testnet and everything works appropriately through the Ethereum network, you publish it and you pay your gas fees. And then you deploy your smart contract. Mm-hmm. And now your NFT is on the network, and you are free to have it in your MetaMask wallet, which is the most important thing, is because if you can't see it, why even bother, right?
So once you create it, it's called minting an NFT, right. Is that right?
Exactly.
So it's the act of publishing that on the blockchain. And then when you're able to publish it, you then have the full ability to add it into the different marketplaces.
Right. So certain protocols that each token on the Ethereum network has to meet. The different protocols have different names, but the most common one is ERC 721, which mm-hmm. is an NFT digital asset protocol. Okay. And each digital asset that follows this protocol has to apply certain parameters. So they have to meet certain requirements, like I said, like the ID, your address. So you need all these things to meet the protocol. And then once you are able to publish it on the Ethereum network, those exchanges immediately see that digital asset being published on the blockchain, and they're able to put that in their marketplace.
Well, there's an important disclaimer too to mention with
right.
when you mint a NFT.
Yeah.
It takes at least when we did the calculations
right.
here in the research, it takes an average of about $100 to mint an NFT on the ETH blockchain. I think that's kind of the whole idea with the testnet and everything.
Right.
You want to test
exactly.
it out to kind of get a feel for it. And then when you are ready to actually create something,
exactly.
get it out there, then go ahead and put in the $100 or whatever it is today when you're
right.
watching this, how much those gas fees and everything cost. So it does vary day by day, just because of the Ethereum network and people
right.
using it. In a future video, we're going to be diving a little bit more detailed on how to do this for all the people here watching. But we kind of wanted to give a little bit of a high view here of what are NFTs. Exactly. And then in the future, we're going to give more detailed videos of what we're going to be doing, how you can actually apply this information. So this is more from an informational high level kind of perspective. So you go to ethereum.org, there's a lot of really good information there on just tutorials on how to get started. So you don't necessarily have to take just everything we're saying, but highly recommend checking that out too. What are some of the main marketplaces that people can go to purchase or add their NFTs on?
There's a few different marketplaces that do their own specific type of NFTs. So there's Cyberpunks. I think a lot of people, if you know NFT digital artwork, you've probably heard of Cyberpunks. And it's a simple 16 by 16 bit pixel image that just has avatars of zombies or your digital face, basically. There's a lot of marketplaces that have set up that way to make it faster for you, mm-hmm. but you have to create that type of NFT. If you're going on a Cyberpunk marketplace, you need to create the Cyberpunk 16 by 16 digital avatar. There's other things like CryptoKitties. It is a digital marketplace for NFTs, but like I said again, it is for the CryptoKitties format where it has to be, a CryptoKitty. There's a few other ones like Zora. Or
I like if you're into sports collectibles,
right.
NBA Top Shot's a really big one right now. Yeah. So it's really cool because if you're just a sports fan in general, you can go and purchase NFTs about your favorite sports athletes. So what's OpenSea? That was another one. Justin, do you know too much about that?
This also is a digital marketplace for all creators. Mm. You create your own artwork, and you publish it, and you're able to follow the creators, kind of like a social media, and see what they're publishing. Marketplaces like OpenSea, you're able to publish all types of NFTs as well, which is very important, including things like the CryptoKitties and Cyberpunks as well. Since it is an NFT and you own it, you have the address to that NFT. Like we said, when you are creating an NFT, it has a specific address, and you can add it to these other open digital NFT marketplaces.
I hope that this has kind of given you a high level view of NFTs just in general, just being able to understand from a big picture, like what are NFTs, why are so many people talking about it, why does it matter, how do you even create one?
Exactly.
So, this is kind of just a very generic, general informational video and episode here for you guys to just get a high level view of NFTs.
Right.
But we'll definitely be, dialing in a little bit more on specific aspects, like how to create NFTs, maybe talk more about some of these marketplaces, how you can buy and sell them if you want to be more of a trader.
Right.
How do you, become more of a creator?
And personally, it took me about 6 months to really grasp what the blockchain and digital marketplaces and NFTs really are. So don't get overwhelmed that you don't understand all of this. We're programmed to think about these centralized databases and things like Google and like, wow, like the cyber tower, this ivory tower, that it's so amazing that you can't compete with it. It's very overwhelming. You really just have to start with some simple resources.
You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going.
Right.
So that's an important thing to remember here. You may look at us, watching us or listening to us right now and be like, wow, they seem to know a lot about this. But it's because we took action one day, and started to just learn how to do this, create it. Any positive change just requires some daily steps to continue moving forward, learning things, applying things. And that's ultimately, why we created the Metabros show. Right. It's all about helping you go above and beyond your kind of current situation, adding helpful information, giving you those resources that you need to live a better life. Is that starting a business? Is that, growing more of what you want to do, trying to accomplish more of your goals, becoming a millionaire, whatever those goals are. We want to come alongside you and help you accomplish those in the best way possible. If you have any questions about NFTs, specific things that we discussed today, or if you want to know more about, some detailed information of what we discussed, please drop a comment in the comment section. If you're listening to us on the podcast, please, go to our YouTube channel, drop in a comment. And then we would love to get back and connected with you, as soon as we can. And if you are already familiar with NFTs, let us know. Did we leave anything out? Because we're constantly wanting to improve. We want to partner with other people who know more than us, where we can continue to empower our audience as we continue to grow. Please remember to go like this video, subscribe to our channel. We definitely want to grow this channel to just equip people with that information they need, because a lot of the NFT crypto space technology, Facebook becoming Meta, the world is changing. The singularity is coming here between emerging of the physical reality and digital reality. We've got to learn how we can start to use those tools to empower other people instead of, from a centralized perspective, using these tools to control and manipulate people. That's why we started Meta. It's all about freedom and empowerment, equipping you with what you need. Without further ado, guys, please remember to keep on being Meta, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.